Soldiers of Reddit, what was something that was so funny even the drill sergeant couldn't help but giggle? Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will drill you tonight. You have about 30 seconds to unfrick yourself starting 28 seconds ago. I don't know if that was an old saying amongst all of them or he made it up on the spot, but goddamn did I almost fricking lose it. Oh my god, I have the best story for this. Basic training. Some dude was getting a reprimand from the course officer because he was a bag of fail. He got briefed by the platoon sergeant beforehand to march to the door, salute the officer, and wait to be instructed what to do. But this guy was as dumb as a brick, so he marches to the door and stands there looking stupid. The sergeant waits a good long while hoping this kid will clue in, and nothing happens. Finally he yells at him, "Well, aren't you going to pay compliments to the officer?" And numpty stammers for a bit and finally chirps out, "You're looking really nice today, sir." Sergeant yells at him to get the frick out and slams the door, and the entire course staff nearly die from laughter. It took an hour for us to stop laughing long enough to call him back and actually give him the reprimand. I was on the floor with tears in my eyes. For years afterwards, anytime we would see that officer we would stop him to tell him he was looking nice. It never stopped being funny. Oh god, that's a riot. From a friend at air assault. They were fast roping down off towers and there was one guy that was deathly afraid of heights, but was still making his way to pass, and he was just standing there and the instructor yells something along the lines of "Stop being a pussy and go." He proceeds to jump into the rope, lose his grip and fall the entire way down while screaming air assault until he hit the ground. He broke his arm and had to go with the next class. What a legend. I appreciate the dedication, even if his technique needs a wee bit of work. Lost my it on this one. The mental image. Holy hell. I laughed way too hard at this. Someone in basic threw their half-eaten schnitzel into the toilet and tried to flush it. It didn't flush. He left. So we are all in our rooms as we hear one of our drills scream to get out and line up. We line up and he was one of the super serious guys. 190 meters tall, easily 100 kilograms of pure muscle and always mean mugging everyone. He starts screaming at us telling us that we are pigs. No one knew what went on. Then he started yelling someone threw a freaking schnitzel into the toilet. As he finished he started smiling. First time in months I saw the dude smile. Everyone started laughing hard. He got angry again and started repeating himself. He starts laughing once he hits the schnitzel part again. We all laugh again. He just tells us we are dumbasses and someone better fish that piece of schnitzel out ASAP. 190 meters tall? Frick, he could be his own battalion. Frick, you beat me to it. Except remember he is only 200 kilograms, so probably looks like a wisp of hair blowing in the wind. New stealth technology. He turns sideways and becomes invisible. Slender Man. Well, one time when I was in basic training, my petty officer was going around asking questions to people. If you got it wrong, everyone had to do push-ups. If you got it right, he just moved on to the next person. I was in panic mode because all the questions before now had been really difficult, or maybe I was just stupid. In retrospect, I'm inclined to believe the latter. Anyway, my turn came up and the interaction went as follows. Petty officer. Dandy Lou, what is the Navy's birthday? Me. Ecstatic, because this is one of the few bits of trivia my brain had decided to retain. Relieved. Sir. The 13th of October. Sir. Petty officer. What year? Me. Without missing a beat. Every year. Sir. The room was quiet for a moment as the horror sank in. Everyone laughed at me. The petty officer laughed at me. Not a mocking laughter, but a sincere, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're this stupid" kind of laughter. I wanted to die. I had to do a lot of push-ups. That's a classic. Bay Inspection Day. The company first SGT and commander are going through each platoon's bay and checking everyone's it and casually grilling the recruits on the base's command tree. Our company first SGT goes to our platoon leader and asks him what position does Command Sergeant Major insert name hold in this base. It's a trick question, the answer simply being Command Sergeant Major. Anyways, the platoon leader hesitates before belting out something extremely retarded. I don't remember verbatim, but it was something similar to Command Sergeant Major insert name is the Star Commander Leader Chief of Fort Benning, First Sergeant. Everyone freezes. Even the drill sergeants don't even breathe. The company first SGT stares at this guy for like 20 seconds before muttering loudly, "You frickin' retard," and shakes his head and leaves the bay. Doesn't even punish him. Even the DS is laughing and calling him a fricking dumbass. Was pretty excellent and everyone broke out laughing when they left. Chief of Fort Benning. Went through my basic in Benning. Us non-bravos caught a lot of flack from the DS for not being infantry. I still remember both of my DS's names too. Some things you don't forget. LOL, I was a bang bang. I ended up jacking up my legs and had to use crutches for a while. Every single DS I came across, even those not in my company, would yell out at me and say, "Look that, recruits. Mechanized infantry. Look that, recruits. Mechanized infantry." I just seriously lost my it at my desk. Thank you. I so easily pictured that scenario. I was a 97E. All I ever got was a DI telling me "Ha. Interrogate me, private" from 2 inches in front of my face and me thanking God I was not wearing my BCGs and could easily stare right through him. Dude was told he couldn't trim his unibrow. If he did he'd have to shave both eyebrows as well. So that's what dude did. Shaved it all. DS lost it laughing and then made the private report every morning to have them sharpied on with a new expression every day. I did. The best ones were when he was given 2 squares as eyebrows or a constant surprised look. And thanks for my first gold. I shall name him Philip. Oh my god, this one's my favorite. That's hilarious. But why couldn't he trim his unibrow? Because boot camp is where your self-esteem and individualism go to die before you're built back up to be a marginally competent service member. Boot camp is where your self-esteem and individualism go to die. I didn't need boot camp for this. Not a soldier, but an airman. Hopefully you still like the story. We are out on the pad standing in formation waiting for breakfast just like any other BMT morning. We are at the end of our training so the MTIs tend to not harass you as much in your last week or so at basic. Our MTI has a doctor's appointment or something so he has a female MTI in the squadron we have seen from time to time watch us while he is gone. So, she takes us all from parade rest to attention and addresses the dorm chief led trainee position in the flight. He lets out the fatal response of "Yes sir" to whatever the frick she said to him. She's a petite athletic looking redhead and would not be mistaken for a sir. She gets right in his face as it leaves his mouth and starting yelling, "Ah, you make me so mad I just want to whip out my dong and slap you across the face with it. I fi hard on." There were 3 other flights with like 20-40 trainees each including their MTIs immediately dying laughing. Even she only held it together for a few seconds of being angry red in the face before laughing. I think you would get in some serious trouble these days yelling great lines like that. Marino CS. I was that candidate. We were doing Nightland nav in the rain. If we wanted to look at our list of bearings, we had to huddle inside our poncho with a red light to maintain light discipline. I checked for the next bearing I was supposed to follow, then popped my head back out. Well, one of the staff had appeared out of the corner of my eye, and my glasses were fogged with water so I didn't recognize who it was. They looked short, and we had a female captain in the command staff, so I said "Good evening ma'am." The male gunnery sergeant responded with "Are you stupid candidate?" Luckily we were in the middle of a training exercise so that was that. Maybe I'll rip yours off and use that instead. How do you like that? One time my ankles were legit hurting really bad. Cankles in new boots yay. So I asked the DS if I could go to the infirmary. He said yes. I said, "Thanks, dude." He laughed and said, "You know I gotta smoke you for that," and he did. But it was nice to see the human side for the first time. "You know I gotta smoke you for that." What does that mean? Like, punish? Navy boot camp in Orlando, Florida in August of 1989. The company was split up in two, on either side of the center line facing the front of the bay. Our company commander had us doing 4-count jumping jacks where we all had to clap on the second and fourth together. It had to sound like one clap. There were 68 of us, and even though we struggled, all of us eventually got it. Well, all of us, but one. This poor guy just could not clap with the rest of us. He was eventually pulled up to the front of the bay where he would lead the exercise. At the last second, every time, he would change his pace and ruin it. The company commander smiled throughout and eventually just keeled over laughing at this guy. It's funny though that I don't remember being angry, even though we must have been doing jumping jacks for about 3 hours in 100-degree heat. I do remember that the only reason we quit was because the cement floor was too slippery with sweat to safely continue. TFW, you understand what the DI means by PT until the walls sweat. Go to Love Recruit Rain. Please enlighten me. This is in like 4 songs from my favorite band, and I never get it. They make you work out so hard and so long that your sweat and breath evaporates and starts condensing on the walls, thus making them sweat. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will drill you tonight.